All right. We're doing a little playoff preview on the fly with Rich from our New York Mets, who, as he just mentioned, so kindly that he's sitting up in the top right-hand corner, his favorite spot to be.
That's right. 2 years in a row.
And I don't know your situation at the moment, but you'll be able to hear mine as there we go. Nice and baseball ready. I don't know if you can hear the cracking of a nice the Shoots Fresh Squeeze IPA.
Nice. I have a
Tastes
water.
delicious. Yeah. That works. Water's probably
Right.
safe. So so I'm in the playoffs. That's the key news. Podcast is done. We can wrap it up.
That's right. That's it's been a while. You're in the
Yeah,
chat
yeah,
every
yeah.
year,
Let's
but
see. Hold on. Let's see how long it's been. History.
it feels like it's been at least 3 years.
It's been two. Yeah, look at all these X's over here. But yeah, it's
That was at the beginning.
oh,
You
close.
weren't
It's 20.
the players you were drafting weren't affecting it yet.
Well, so we started what in 20, right? I didn't make it
Yeah,
that
I
year. I
believe
made then
so.
bunch of shitty years, three playoff years in a row, 25, 26, 27. Of course, I don't do anything with them. And then 31 didn't make it last year, heartbroken. And then in this year. So yeah.
Nice.
So
Good to see it
happy
on
to be there.
the
Let's see what we have for you, my friend. Let's
oh
see how
let's
many
see.
years we got. All right. Hey, now you got a bunch in 26, 27, 28, 29.
Yeah,
That's
that's a
good.
lot later than 22, 23. That's
Fair
yeah.
enough. No doubt you've made it more, but little gap in there in the 30 and 31.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, impressive last two seasons. Wow, identical records past two seasons. That's pretty impressive.
Oh, I had 104 last year too.
Yeah, 104 and
Yeah.
58 here. Yep. Um, so let's take a look as we're doing this at some of our other playoff
If you
teams
take a
here.
look there, it's 4, 5, 6, 7 out of 9 years in a row.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
33 I was in. There's no X.
Oh, right. That's true. Yeah, that's right. I guess it's not history yet, right?
Right.
Fair
Let's see. So
enough.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 6 out of 8 years.
Okay. All right. Um, yeah, that's solid. All right, let's we know we have Colorado in. And this will be
He's
their
been
third year in a
solid.
row. Yeah.
Yep.
There was that gap in there that there's a little bit of struggle and disappointment. But I mean the records are pretty decent off and on. Um we don't really have to look at this too much, but
Yeah, that's just stupid.
yeah, that's pretty impressive. Um our boy in Cincy, let's see, that might I mean, oof, I hate to
Well,
say it, but
he doesn't have as many checks on the other side there though. He only has the
oh,
one.
that's true. Yeah, that's definitely true. And that division definitely has been a lot easier. Um,
Yeah.
so, but give them credit where credit's due.
Mm.
And then Brewers are back in.
Right.
The ghost of Bill lives in Kyle. Um, and yeah, so second year in a row. That's pretty sweet. 92 wins, looking pretty good. So real quick, I just want to take a look at the I think that's everyone in the NL there, right?
Mhm.
Um, all right. Well, I guess let's keep going down that path real quick in the NL because that's pretty fun to look at, basically.
Right.
Um, the let me just get. I'm sorry. Let me just make sure I know here. Minnesota, Baltimore, Seattle, Detroit. What's funny, Rich, is that the NL teams here are definitely chatterboxes for the most part.
Right.
And then Dave, who took Nashville, and Tim are pretty active. Caden's pretty active. And then we have like three silent assassins in there, right? They just
Yeah,
sneak up.
exactly. Is
uh,
Caden the twin still, or is it a
Hayden is
different
the
owner
twins,
now?
correct?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. And so Matt, who is a consistent exporter, and we see here the second year in a row with playoffs, he just like sneaks in, man,
Right.
but 100 win season, you can't 93 last year. That's pretty solid. Yeah,
That is solid for sure.
he's looking pretty good there. We know this
Oakland's
is
always tough.
yeah, they've been good. They've been good.
Yeah.
We know that Nashville is like Arizona, just a machine.
Hmm.
Looks like they only
Absolutely.
didn't make it 1 year, the second year we were in, and they still had 85 wins.
Wow.
I think we had glanced right before we hit record at Seattle here, Danny in Seattle. So didn't make it last year, made it the year prior, the 87 wins, and then a couple years
Yeah.
struggling. Back in 25 and 24, he was in. I think he went to the World Series in 24.
Really? I think
Yeah,
hmm,
I'll
I
have to
don't
check.
remember.
You'll have to check to see that. I know he was in the World Series in one of those seasons. Um, who else do we have here? We peeked at Baltimore real quick, and we were saying they're, you know, off and on the past couple of years. Solid season this year, pretty shitty last year, um, decent
Looks like
season
just
year
one
before.
time.
Yeah, yeah,
This is only their second appearance.
yep, yeah. I'm happy to see that. I love when we get teams like that in there.
Yeah,
That,
exactly.
that aren't the Dodgers. And who else we have in there? We have Seattle. Oh, and Detroit. Tim is always
Yeah,
pretty
Tim's
consistently in
solid.
there. Yeah,
He kicked my ass last year. I won game one and then he won four in a row.
and that was his second win, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
yep, yeah, 23 and 32. Um, and then yeah, that was a tough loss for you, no doubt.
Well,
um,
it wasn't even a challenge.
yeah,
He went four in a row. I'm just hoping that the three silent assassins take out Tim
those big guys. Yeah,
and Nashville. Yeah.
yeah, and Caden's been consistent and
Yeah.
and good for him. I know that he's like this year. Um, I don't know if he posted it here, but I know he was having some computer issues and life outside of OOTP has been challenging for him to get into the game file as much as he was prior. So he's in a few leagues that I've been made aware of that. So the fact that he's pumping out playoff wins,
Right.
right, playoff appearances, I should say, it's pretty impressive.
I
Yeah.
agree. It's my
All right.
team, the Twins.
So yeah, that's right. It's right. Um, So let's go into this tree here. All right. So you have the number one seed taking on
That's
the
right.
victors of the Rockies and Brewers. We can dig into those teams before we totally dig in. I don't know if you had a chance to do this at all, but or if
I haven't.
yeah,
I was gonna scout him, but I was just like, I'll just wait and see. I want Milwaukee to take Andy down. I do not want to go to Colorado.
that was gonna be my question. I was gonna see if you had a
Yep.
preference of who you play.
Yep. Yep. I'd rather play Milwaukee.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, obviously you don't
I
want to go
can
in
I just don't want to go into Colorado. I
right.
can beat Andy at home, but if he gets one at home, then I got to beat him in Colorado, and I have a hard time in Colorado.
Yeah. We don't have to spend too much time here because we did do dig in with Andy, so people have seen the team, but um, we his pitchers look like they're ready to go. I think Coaster, yeah, he pitched, so he's gonna have to go Bird in game one. I mean, that's kind of, I mean, even though he's having a great season, it's I would say it's kind of an advantage to Milwaukee.
Right.
Um, but extreme
I
ground
guess it
ball.
depends on what their lineup looks like. I mean, if they're loaded with lefties, you want to
Yeah,
throw,
yeah,
you
let's
know,
check that out. He was looking pretty good with his guys are hot and ready to go. I just
right?
want to
I
see
mean,
if
that
any.
offense is just dumb.
I know it makes me
It's
so
just,
angry.
it's just dumb.
It
I just
looks
don't
like
want to face Soto. That lineup is just. I've got good pitching, but that lineup is can destroy any pitcher.
yeah, no, I agree. As I know, plenty. Uh,
Right. Yeah.
so Milwaukee here. Let's see. Uh, looks like their second baseman Joel Hampy. What do you think?
I'm not the one to be asking how to pronounce anything. Happy.
Hampy, yeah, I think so. Um, so yeah, he had a really good season, 3.1 WAR. Um, looks like he's ready to come off the IL, so
Yeah,
that could
good
be key.
defender too.
Yeah.
Good
Um,
defender.
let's see, pitching wise, who's he gonna go with here? I'm kind of just speculating, obviously, but Looks like Atwood would be the ready guy here. Ground baller, okay, it's good. Um, have to see where the game's played as well. I assume the bottom team is the home team.
I would. Oh,
Makes sense, right? Let's take a look
yeah, I
here.
would think so.
Um,
Were you and Andy battling for the number two?
yeah, you know what's so dumb of me? I I kind of just totally slipped the thinking of where the game would be played. Um,
Yeah,
and I guess it didn't matter between me and Cincinnati, but I tried resting my guys his last couple games, and so I'm going to play every game in Cincy. I don't think I could have changed that, um,
right.
but I, I guess if I had
Well,
won,
if you would have beat Andy out, you would have
I'd play
been
Milwaukee,
right.
right, and then had an easier matchup with you than versus Arizona.
Uh, I knew that was coming. I knew that was coming.
But I
I would be pulling for you for sure. I usually handle you.
yeah, 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 yeah. I rested Lewis. Like I rested all my stars if I could. Um, just to make sure I didn't get any injuries there. But all right, so it looks like fortunately for Kyle and the Brewers, Colorado's coming to town and not the other way.
Right.
That's pretty key. Um, yeah, that's right. So 3 games in a row at the same place. Yep. Okay. Um, let's take a look at Milwaukee's um,
So
lineup
it's
here.
in Milwaukee, right?
It's in Milwaukee, yeah.
Okay.
Which is nice here. As I fumble around here. I'm gonna take a look at their lineup real quick. All right, so he's got okay. So I'm guessing the third base is probably the guy coming off the IL,
Probably.
which we saw. It looks pretty good. Interesting, interesting. First base, Luis Rignifo. I always mess up his name. All right, it's Chris Priest at second. Pat Hunt at short. This guy's a monster. Wow.
Yeah.
Uh, I wonder defensively, what do you think?
I
Little,
think he's good enough to play short for
yeah.
sure.
All right, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Maybe arm is on the light side, but I mean 65 you can deal with 65 range. That turn double play is good.
yeah.
So I think that looks good.
He's holding his own.
What
Uh,
is his zone rating and stuff?
looked like it was 3.5. Yeah, 3.6.
All right, so yeah,
It's not hurting
it's all
him.
right. Right,
Yeah,
definitely not.
yeah. Um, but yeah, solid bat there. So our third baseman, I believe, is the guy that's on injured list, which would make sense, right? If he's going to play third,
Yeah, yep.
Hampy, yeah, decent enough bat.
Yeah, and he's got a good enough arm to play third.
Yeah. Oops. And then let's take a look real quick. Bounce to catcher. Brown. Okay. Yeah, he's a defensive guy, captain. He's going to serve a purpose there. Taking off Joe Brown, the catcher here, taking Rule 5 in Arizona.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, good little get.
Arizona don't need any catchers though. They got
Right.
Romo.
And plenty of captains.
Right.
I'd be curious to see who Kyle here puts at DH. There's no one listed there now. Um, we can conjecture that it may be someone like this, Jordan Carpenter, maybe.
Maybe. I don't know. Let me see his lineup page.
Yeah, it's
Like
it's
like
bare
just
right
pick
now.
like
So I don't know if that's due to injury. I don't think we have an export from him yet. Looks like he's missing a couple
is that
guys.
yeah, it looks like he might be adding some players, you know.
It probably didn't adjust the playoff roster. So
Well, sometimes like if you add on, you know, go up to 28. Like so my team, I had 28 players at the end of the year on my team.
right.
But when I went to the playoffs, like if you were to have looked at uh, my team before I exported,
Yeah.
Vlad wasn't on my team. Like
Okay.
Vlad was sitting off the playoff team.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay.
So I had to make some adjustments.
Yeah. Let's take a look, see if anyone big is missing here. This playoff roster eligible. Beatty, which I guess would be more of a defensive fix. Hampy, we know, would be in there. And looks like, yeah, all right, solid center fielder.
Yeah, that guy's solid.
Yeah.
How many games did he play for you? Only
He's
15.
yeah, he's only
So
played
probably not him.
Yeah, I wonder what he's been doing there. Maybe one more quick look at him. Sorry, wrong button. Has he played? Okay, so he's played most of the season in AAA. Okay, that's interesting. Um,
That guy's I like him.
yeah, I like him too. Uh, I want to see who his center fielder is then. Okay, interesting. So Chris Hawkins in center. Yeah, I might almost put the
I would have the other guy in
yeah, I think I'd have the other
for
guy in
sure. I
too.
would, yeah. Like,
Yeah. And then left field, this is probably one of his best bats so far. Left fielder Alex Huzka. Uh,
how's that guy only a 48?
is still young, so it looks like he's still considered a prospect, right? So first
Yeah,
season, 73 games started. So he must have, yeah, looks like he called him up midway through, and he was injured as well at some point this year. Um,
I'm just like his overall, like his ratings look better than a 48.
they do, yeah. I wonder is he right hander? I mean, he hits well against both of them. Um, definitely hits great against lefties, which
Lefties, yeah.
yeah, which Andy has a couple, if I can recall. And let's check out right field. So Jim Davis. Wow. Okay. Davis is a beast. And he's a young
Yeah.
guy too. 23 years old, right fielder, Jim Davis, number one prospect.
Number one. I just saw that.
Yeah. And he played the full season, but 4.5 war.
Oh, I knew about this guy. Bill was, he wouldn't shut up about this guy. God. Yep. I forgot this is Bill's old team. Now I remember this guy.
We knew that we weren't going to get past the mention to Bill, even though he's not in the league. He still gets the mentions, right?
Right. Yeah.
He's getting
Yep.
royalties. Um,
Exactly.
this guy's a monster, though.
I sent him a message saying Pittsburgh was open.
All right, we'll see. We'll see if he bites. There's nothing this guy doesn't do bad though, right? He's got great range. He can play, you know, at two solid spots in the outfield. He's got great speed. I
He's a
mean,
captain.
yeah, captain. I mean, every hitting rating there is elite, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a
This
monster.
guy's a beast.
Yeah. So let me see. I'm assuming wow, he rakes righties. Holy bejeebies! Wow. All right. Yeah, he's gonna be a hard out. So it's kind of hard to see somewhat with a couple spots missing. You know, we have third and
Right.
DH, and then like I said I
We
would
think we
probably
know third, but the
yeah,
DH, I'm
right.
not
It's
sure.
true. I'd probably swap out the center fielder. Um, I do want to see real quick. I want to take a look. Let me just scroll through his pictures. But I wow, okay. But I do want to go back to Andy's pictures, see how many lefties he's got. Um, so the ace
Yeah,
here,
two.
Milwaukee, Josh Boger, second full season in the league, yeah, third full season. 33 starts, led the league in wins with 18, led the league in innings pitched with 228, led the league in Ks with 263. Two great seasons back to back. Legit ace. Yeah,
Yeah, his numbers are good. I don't like
yeah.
that movement, but damn, you can't complain about those numbers.
That's on the cusp of being too low for you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Um,
I mean,
but
Chandler Best is lower than that, but I don't like it.
but you can't complain, right? He's got
Mm-hmm.
three elite pitches, a show me, maybe a little bit better show me forkball, great stamina, holds runners.
Well, I heard from like the developers or somebody, a fork ball with three good pitch, like that fork ball is a big pitch. It's a lot bigger than you think because it's his fourth pitch. Like
Makes sense.
I've heard that it's a nasty pitch when you get up of four pitches, the fork ball.
Specifically the forkball or
Yeah,
like a
fork. I can't remember if the fork and the splitter, but it was
okay.
like the fork ball was one of the best pitches in the game if you had like four pitches.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, I kind of wondered about that as far as it would make sense in regular baseball if you had three elite pitches like this, right? You know, he's
Mm-hmm.
got basically, a cutter fastball, a curveball, a changeup. And then if the fourth pitch, no matter what, let's say it's a split finger, or circle change, a fork ball, anything like that, if you're going to throw it, you know, 12% of the time, I guess when you see it, it has to be something different. You're not going to expect it compared to those other three. I don't know if the developers developed it like that, but
Yeah,
it's
actually, it wasn't a developer. I just remember where I heard it. It was Sergeant Mushroom. He's a
uh,
streamer.
okay.
He did
All right.
like a he did a I don't know, a show on like all the pitches and how they
Okay.
ranked and how they performed when there was only two pitches, or if there were three pitches, if there were four pitches.
Yeah. And that was specifically for
Mm-hmm.
the forkball itself.
Yeah, the fork ball I remember was like one of the very top pitches if you had four pitches or more.
Okay, interesting. Sorry, my draft is going off around me. um, so yeah,
I'm
I
sure if
haven't.
anybody wanted to look it up, they could probably find Sergeant Mushroom on Twitch and find that video.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I haven't even looked at a like paid attention to forkball, or I don't even if the pitch is really just kind of average, I don't even really notice it, frankly. So that's interesting to see if it's if it's a slider versus forkball versus split finger.
Right.
Okay, but either way, the dude's a monster. Um, uh, hopefully he looks like. So when did he go? He went yesterday, so he's probably not pitching this series. That's huge.
It means I get them.
Yep. It means you get him. Yeah. Be
Yeah,
careful what you wish for. You
that's
want
right. I
Milwaukee
got
to
them.
win.
I've got pictures. I can line up pictures with anybody.
That's
It's just
fair.
my bats
Yeah.
aren't as good though.
Um, so we got Atwood probably going to start. Yeah, rough year for him. Nothing spectacular sticks out. So definitely a good
No,
matchup there to start for Milwaukee. I'm sorry, for Colorado. See
yeah.
how
I mean, I don't know why his ERA is so damn high though.
yeah.
Like that all looks good except for that stuff, you know?
Right. Right. Yeah.
Maybe does Milwaukee have a good defense?
It looked like it was decent, just kind of
Like
glancing
go to
through
their
it.
info. Go to info. And then right over here. I mean, what does it say there on the bottom? Seventh in the NL.
Yeah.
They're probably in the middle of the league.
Yeah. But that makes sense. Um, as we're here real quick, it kind of looks like I mean, they're obviously not a great power team, um, which is fine. They do pretty well running the bases. Looks like they're kind of in the middle pack mostly in offense as well. Maybe a little upper side on base and batting average, I guess.
It must be their
Um,
pitching. Look at their pitching stuff though. That stuff's pretty good.
yeah, right. Bullpen ERA, which we haven't dug into that yet. Um, they're not walking
Top
people.
five in ERA,
Yep. Yeah.
middle of the group in defense.
Yep.
But
Yeah. So pretty solid. Well, while we're here, real quick, let's just see what the matchup is with the Rockies, right? So looks
they're the
like
opposites.
yeah, they are. It's so funny though, right? So the War is the first in NL for their pitching, despite being you know
Right.
middle-ish and everything as well.
That is
Uh,
crazy.
yeah, 12th in BABIP. I guess that's probably a Coors Field thing as well.
Probably.
Third in
And
NL.
I'm not sure how much Andy looks at his defense. His defense isn't too bad though. He's six, so it's actually better than I thought.
Yeah, right. That's true. Um, and then offense, we know they're going to get extra base
Yeah.
hits, runs scored first. Wow. Yeah. On base plus slugging. It's crazy. How
Yeah, that
much
offense is sick.
how much of it is the players and how much is the field, do you think?
I think it's both. I think his lineup is good. I don't
Yeah.
think it's just Coors. I think he's got a pretty good lineup.
Yeah. And we did
You
dig into
know,
this, but yeah, Rodriguez, Hunt is solid and back and playing.
obviously he's got, if you go to like their ballpark factory, he's gonna obviously he gets a big boost to his offense. So you have to give some credit to the ballpark.
Yeah. Right. I mean, that's insane.
Right.
That's crazy.
Like
While we're
almost 100% boost on triples.
right. Let's take a look at the Brewers real quick. So pretty suppressed, surprisingly, actually.
Except they have big gaps,
Yeah.
at least for triples.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. I pulled my
Oh,
I
that
was
was
like I was
Miami.
gonna say that's not what I expected from Milwaukee, because usually there's a hitter's
Okay,
ballpark.
right.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's about what I expect.
This is a pretty neutral park.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and as we're here, I want to dig into the rest of the picture. So if we go Atwood, then it looks like, man, who's he gonna go? If we just go in order of pitchers here, it looks like he's missing Aguilera from his lineup potentially. So he pitched 30 starts this season.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know if he pulled him for the playoffs on purpose. He led the league in walks.
Well, if
Um,
you look at his last 4 games, it's like 3 innings.
yeah, he's in relief here. You can see
So
here.
you can see that he had 34
Yeah,
games. He didn't start 4 games in those last 4 games.
right. Makes sense. All right. So he's going to be in relief. So he's been going 4-man rotation down the little stretch there, the last week at least. That makes sense.
He might have been saving him for the playoffs too, though. He might have
Mm,
just been resting him.
yeah, yeah, that's true. Um, if he goes in order here, just listed by the 1 through 5, and Orlando Pettigron would be the second guy up, and still developing, huh? Young guy,
Yeah.
23 years old, 60 rated prospect, first year in the league. Milwaukee's got a young team. Um, and
I, I bet you he moves this guy to the bullpen.
for the playoffs,
Yeah.
yeah,
Because that 40 is going to jump, I would think. And he would actually be a decent relief pitcher.
yeah. I mean,
But
it looks like he's almost fully developed outside of his control, which is kind of scary. Um, not the time to lose control.
right.
uh, no elite pitches, but um, you don't mind that when we have 5 or 6 pitches like that, right?
I still want something that's in the blue, but
Yeah,
yeah, I would start this guy. Like I probably wouldn't start him at a 40 like right now, but when he develops, if it looks like that, I would start him for sure.
that's pretty interesting. He drops down as reliever.
Oh, he does. Okay.
Yeah, I
It's
wonder
because
why.
yeah, maybe because it doesn't have any elite pitches
Yeah, right, 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 and not great
and not
stuff.
enough stuff, right?
Yeah. Okay, interesting. And then Chris Berry, 32-year-old, the vet, extreme ground baller, first season in Milwaukee, kind of a rent arm, looks like. Um, oh, he's in arbitration, uh, but 32 starts this year,
He's won three
and
of the last five.
he's had
The
a decent.
team's won 4 of the last 5. So
Are you looking in
I'm
his
just looking at his
game
last five
log?
games.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, no, if you just was on the
Oh, right,
screen.
right, right, right. Yeah,
So I just looked at those 5 games right there.
that makes sense. I don't know why. You know how we get in habits of doing things? This area here, the game log, is always blind spot to me.
And
No
that's where I
clue.
always look.
No, I don't know why, because I will
Right.
do exactly what I just did. I'll go into pitching stats or batting stats, and I'll go into the game log and I'll look at this, but
Right.
my dumb ass just misses the thing that's right in front of my face. Yeah,
Like with two-way players, it bugs me because I don't have those games there. I have to go in and do it that way
yeah, yeah,
because you
yeah,
have
yeah.
both offense and defense right there. Or I
Right.
mean, pitching and
Pitching. Yeah,
offense.
correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the staff has something left to be, desired. Um, it looks like the pen is as decent. We saw the pen um in the info, I think was pretty good, right? The bullpen ERA at first in the league. Um,
What the hell? He got ahead of me.
but in that quick synopsis, so we don't drag this out crazy long. Who do you like? I know who you want to win. Who do you
Yeah,
think
I mean,
takes
where
it?
is it? Is it in
All
Milwaukee?
all three
I
games in
just don't know.
Milwaukee.
I just don't know if he can beat Colorado.
Yeah,
I think Colorado probably wins.
I think Colorado takes it as well. Um, yeah, I think
Yeah.
their staff is
They're
solid.
good enough in that those bats are just sick.
Yep. Although we did see, um, what was it that I forget if Milwaukee was raking lefties or righties all immediately, but we got Bird lined up, and then I'm gonna guess we're gonna jump up to Coaster here, right? Yeah, 3 days ago. Maybe not. Maybe he's definitely not going.
Is the
Burlew would
game
be
today or is it tomorrow? Because if it's tomorrow,
good question. Yeah, it is. is tomorrow. Yeah, so
All
they
right.
might
So
be in
yeah.
okay shape. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. All right. Yeah,
It's an extra day of rest.
I take the Rockies in that. Um,
I do as well.
yeah. All right, on to the Super Bowl here. Um,
Yeah.
we, this is the if there is a competition that is my dick is bigger than your dick, it's right here, right?
Yeah.
It's
Uh, good luck. That's all I gotta say. Good luck.
yeah.
You know,
Well, um, I
Rizzo's good, man.
would you say
Rizzo is so good.
Rizzo's good since
I
he's
hope
solid.
Scott doesn't listen to this. I don't want to hear me talking about his players like
Yeah,
that.
you can't give him any fuel
No, absolutely
for the
not.
fire. But yeah, I mean solid pitching and defense here, right? So we're top tier in every single thing minus K's, but everything else is looking great. So yeah, they're not going to do too much wrong on the pitching side, not too much wrong on the defense side. Hitting upper side as well. Um, anything you see sticks out? It looks all pretty good.
He just looks all around good,
Right. Yeah, looks
you
solid.
know.
Um, and while we're there, we'll take a look at this beastly team.
Yeah, yours ain't too bad either.
It's middle. It's probably closer to, you know, I mean
I mean,
the
it's
batting the
top five for almost everything,
yeah, I
right?
mean hitting, so
Yeah,
far, probably the best we've seen out of the few teams as far as consistent ranking there. But um, the defense and pitching solid. This starter's ERA hurt a little bit. I mean, I definitely got hurt down the stretch. Um,
right.
and then home runs allowed a lot of dingers, and walks. That's not a good combo.
Not really.
Not going
Right?
against the team we're about
That's
to
some
play.
crooked numbers.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Um, so
How'd you
I
do against Scotty?
yeah,
Oh, we should have looked at that.
that's a good question. We can pull that up.
It's just go into the playoff coverage. It should be right there.
Yeah, it's true. Uh,
Oh,
it's,
you were 4-2.
okay, all right.
That's
Yeah,
good.
yeah, it's not too bad. You know
Look
what?
at the I want to see that um yeah, that game.
Yeah, the Rockies.
Yeah, that's what I was curious about.
Yeah, 5-2 Milwaukee.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Ooh.
yeah.
Okay.
Um, so we know my team decently. We've looked through. We don't have to bore everyone with it. I do have two interesting finally guys that are ready to come back. And I've been kind of slow rolling them here. Um they were injured and then they just came off. So I threw them in rehab knowing that it's not really gonna do anything. But I
Right.
finally get Estrada back, which should help a little bit.
Ooh.
Um,
Yeah, he's good.
yeah, he'll be, my two or three somewhere in there. Of course, wow. I didn't put any restrictions on him here and threw 131 pitches.
Jesus.
That's unbelievable. I gotta get better at doing that.
Right?
And then this guy, I had him starting as like my fourth or fifth, depending where I was. Of course, he threw 107 yesterday, which is also not what I would do. So my bad on that for not changing it. But I'll probably throw this guy in the pen, um,
Okay.
especially for this series. I won't need him. But and I think he should be solid in that pen. Yeah, it jumps up to a 71 there. It's probably his future in my if I stick with him for the longevity, it's probably the future where I'll have him. Um, if I can develop and trade for a few guys. But I was able to rest um my ace. It might be a little tricky in that ballpark, but hopefully he's ready to go in Rigoberto Barbola. Um, and then I think Quintana will probably either go the second or third game. Yeah.
If
So,
I remember correctly, I think Scott, because I swear looked at his team recently. I swear you want to pitch lefties versus him. Like,
okay.
I don't know. Go look at his so this is kind of the stuff I do. I like to look at their team info, right?
Yeah.
So whoever I'm playing in this next round, I'm gonna be going into their team info and looking at their versus left versus right,
Okay.
home away,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know.
All right. Let's check that
So
out.
if he's got a huge split difference, he's 650 versus righties, but 500 versus lefties, you might want to start lefties, you know?
Makes sense. Do you ever like to one of the things I'll do is when I'm deciding between like, who to throw and when to throw, if I have that luxury, of course, right?
Right.
Sometimes it just, this guy's ready and he's not
Mhm.
hurt. In this case, if I was deciding where to pitch, slot in, Ricky Quintana versus some other guys, um, I will come down and just try to find like their matchups with them, right? So in this case, only time I've seen him face, okay, so he's gone against Cincy twice, but the last time was June, so almost a season ago, right? But
Right.
had a pretty solid outing against him, real solid outing, eight and one thirds innings, 3 walks, 8 Ks, 9 ground balls. I'll look at that kind of stuff, and then go down just to see if I can find anything else. I mean, it was spring training the last time we faced him there, so I don't really care about that. So he had pretty good success in that scenario. I'm sorry, against that team. I'm
So
already gonna,
you have all of that information on that
yeah.
playoff page.
Oh, that's good. That's a good call. Let me see. I'm learning something as we go.
So
Um,
here you've
yeah,
got
yeah, yeah. It's
versus,
great.
so you can see.
Yeah, that's perfect. Good call, man. So, okay. Yep. So Quintana is 1 game. Roberto's been great against it. Wow. Rigoberto, I'm sorry.
Right.
Uh, yeah, that's great. Okay. So it's not going to show the two guys. Oh, it will. Okay. So yeah,
Yeah,
Imawato.
anybody that played against them,
Okay.
it'll show.
Yeah. So I haven't had um Quintana. Okay. All right. So one of my starters hasn't gone against him. Estrada hasn't gone against him. Whereas for Scott here, Bassett looks like he's had probably the best success. Um, Interesting. Okay. Some crooked numbers.
Doesn't look like anybody pitched 2 games except for that guy,
Yeah.
unless you
Yeah.
really hit him
Right.
hard.
And then on offensive side, Ron Knowles has been tearing him up.
Get him in the lineup.
Yeah. Him and my third base rookies phenom here.
Oh,
Um,
this guy again.
he ended up with 41 homers,
Wow, that's crazy.
5.2 WAR, rookie of the year, baby.
Was this?
Um,
How did you get him again? You
in minor league free agent signing.
you just signed him as a minor leaguer,
Yeah.
just sitting out there.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
hmm.
mean, when you really look at his bars, they're decent, but they're still not anything incredible.
65, 65 though. That's like when he matures.
Yeah, yeah, and that's the hope, right? He's 27 though, so I wonder how much he will
Oh
mature.
yeah, that's true.
I don't know, So, but I'll take the results.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but so okay, yeah, I like the screen. The screen kind of simplifies a little bit, right?
Yeah, I
So
love this screen.
yeah, so that it makes sense. 4-2
That and
versus
the
Cincinnati.
team info page is the one I
Right.
like.
Yeah. But third in NL runs scored, sixth in NL runs against. It's funny, almost a complete like switch in both of these, right? So
Right,
we flip flop here. So that's kind of a good mix, good combination.
right.
And let's see if anyone else sticks out here. I mean, of course, Rizzo is kills me. It's a beast,
God, he's
and
good.
yeah, but he's definitely the guy that no one else really hurt me. Um, so, all right. I mean, I would if I was a betting man, and we can go into Cincy. Um, I do want to. I don't know if his lineup stays this way. So let me just see real quick uh, how his pitchers are lined up. But if he stays with Charlie, then ground ball.
He's got starters in his on his bullpen too, so he could switch things up with you on you.
Yeah,
He's
true,
got
true.
because like I've got 6 probably, so I can really change mine up.
Right. So Bassett basically is probably his ace, right? So he's
Bassett
probably
could come in, right?
yeah,
He could. You have no idea what he's going to throw at you
right, which is
for the
totally
most
fine.
part, right?
Um, but it
He
looks
might
like
go with that, but
yeah,
he probably hasn't. Oh, you did actually. Did you pull the exports?
I did. I just didn't see
All
who.
right.
Yeah, I didn't pay attention.
Well, he
Um,
said he exported, so
okay, that's true. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, his his team. ERA, all looks good. He looks like he's in pretty good shape. I mean, if I was a betting man, I'd probably take the Reds, right? my
Yeah,
heart,
I'm
my
gonna
heart
take.
doesn't. Yeah,
I want you to win, but
I know you do
I
because
really I want to see him talk shit to you and then watch him and Mike go at it again. It's just
think the entire league is hoping that he talks shit and then eats it.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
And by the
I
way,
would
that
love to see you beat him and then beat Mike,
yeah, me too. You and I have the
you
same
know?
same dreams, my friend. um, we that has been the history of Scott and I'm sure I mentioned somewhere we've been friends since like fifth grade, and we've had some epic battles both in fantasy and in real life, and
I believe it.
yeah, and so in all of our fantasy leagues, football, baseball, everyone roots for Scott to lose. You know?
Of course.
So
Of course.
yeah. But he's so good at playing the villain. I got to give him credit. Like he at the core of who he is, he really is a good human being, and he's
I
just
believe
really
it.
good at playing the fucking villain.
Right. Well, it's fun.
But yeah, I think since he takes that, I think Rockies take it. You versus Rockies. What do you think? And anything you want to dig in there? Can
I
you?
mean, if you want to, I mean, you can. I don't care. I just took a couple big injuries. I'd lost my starting catcher for the year.
Oh, okay. Let me see real
Um,
quick.
but a good thing I have another one.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, he's solid. Any of these other guys key? Oh, you
And yeah, I
lost.
just lost this last sim. Yeah, Cintron's big. I
Yeah,
lost him too. But that was like I don't know, a few sims ago. But I lost him this last sim.
you lost
He's like my
Acosta.
utility guy,
Okay.
and he's
Yeah, he's a
pretty
great
good
utility
actually.
guy, man.
Yeah.
You just signed him. Okay, no, no, no. Okay, he's a
No,
free
he's
agent. Right, right,
yeah,
right.
he's gonna hit the market
Okay.
after this year.
It's funny. Every league I'm in that this guy has been involved, I love this guy. And
Yeah, I
this.
put him up for trade around the trade block, but no one bit. I almost sent him to Colorado. Me
Okay,
and
all right.
Colorado started talking, and then he was supposed to get back to me, and he never did. And I
Yeah,
wasn't gonna, I wasn't
all
gonna
right.
chase him down to get rid of my utility player
Well, I'm not
because
mad about that.
he was looking for a third baseman or something.
Yeah, I love this guy. This is the most developed I've seen him, as far as the bat wise. Um,
Okay.
he's been consistently like a good fielder, a good leader, good speed, but that's the best I've seen his bat. Usually it's like that's kind of like his weakness. But solid. This is a great player. I love this guy. If he's gonna be a free agent, I will be
Yeah,
all over this man.
he's gonna be a free agent.
Yeah. Um, and is Natoli, he's not a starter for you. No, so he's a triple A
No,
guy.
but he would have made my team
Okay.
before I traded for the
Yeah.
center fielder that I have now.
Yeah.
He got injured. He was like my utility outfielder. Because if you look at those defensive stats, it's like, and I think he's a switch hitter too.
Lefty there.
Oh, lefty. That's what it was,
Yeah.
lefty.
Okay, so yeah, hits pretty, and fielding wise, yeah, that's solid. Yeah. I only played 49
Actually, oh,
games.
I had him starting actually. Yeah, he was my
Yeah.
starter for a while.
Um, well, the good thing is you get to rest all your guys, right? So
Right.
that's huge. Um, and how's your catcher? Let me see your catcher here. So backup, still solid, probably better bat, just a little bit less D, right? I mean,
Hmm.
I don't have a high rating on him, so um, but yeah, you can't complain about that.
Yeah, no,
Um,
not at all. And then the backup, I had to take an injury to add him to the 40 man, like because I didn't have a catcher um, that was qualified for the playoffs. But because I lost that second baseman, I was able to add him to my roster as a playoff replacement or an injury
okay,
replacement.
yeah,
And he's all defense. He's no
right.
bat.
His bat's not. Oh, okay, I see. Yeah, yeah,
Not this guy. I,
yeah.
I was talking about the catcher, not the
Oh,
second
okay,
baseman.
gotcha. Okay. Um, uh, well, I think it's tough. You're so balanced, right?
Go to info. I think my pitching is good and my bats are okay.
Yeah. So first ERA, wow. Yeah, fourth, wow. Okay, yeah. Pitching and defense really pretty much one or two everywhere, and then uh batting average third, yeah, all upper tier there. you don't walk as much, but it doesn't seem like it hurts you. That's
I,
a weird combo, right? So here's a quick question. When
mhm.
it says second in strikeouts, is it saying second lowest or second highest?
I would think that's second lowest.
Let's take a look real quick. Let's go to someone who probably doesn't strike out that much. Yeah, second lowest. Okay. Yeah, that's a good rating basically.
Yeah.
Um, oh hey,
Look who's won.
there we go, baby. I wasn't even a setup, but I'll take it. All right.
1175.
Yeah, yeah, 1176. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're close though. Wow, yeah, we're like 20 away. Yeah. Um, all right, yeah. I mean, base run, that's interesting. You're even there. When just a quick question, do you have a bunch of fast guys and do you are you conservative or aggressive with your base running settings?
It depends on the player. Like
Okay.
some of them I'm really conservative on, but then some I send them running. So
Conservative based around like injury settings or conservative like just like
like
health shape?
stealing bases and you know, I don't
Okay.
have them stealing bases, but
Yeah.
a couple guys I have running wild.
Are
For the
you
most part, though, most of them aren't.
are you are you generally like new school as in terms of you don't want them running because you don't want them running into outs, or is it just strictly
No, just
based
because
on
they're based off their stats, you
yeah,
know.
gotcha. Yeah. Like so this guy led your team with 20. Um
And
okay,
if you
yeah.
look at his strategy, I probably have him. Yeah, like
Oh,
I've
okay,
got
yeah. Yeah.
so
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. So base running is conservative. And I think that makes sense there. And then who was second on your team? You had well actually first on your team was your left fielder Silva. And that makes sense. He's 28. And
so you know speed isn't just speed, right? So
as
speed it actually represents when it comes to base running, speed actually represents how aggressive they are.
okay. Okay.
And then stealing is more their speed, you know, like how successful they are. So like what I've heard is like if you have a guy that's let's say 70 speed, 65 stealing, he's going to get caught way more than you think. Like he's
No,
going
that
to
makes
be
sense. Yeah.
unsuccessful a lot. So like if you look at my right fielder, oh, it used to be different. Mm,
Well, it might be my scout as well.
he used to have higher speed than the
Right.
stealing. So if you look at his
His base running's elite, right?
yes, but if you look at how I have him set up, I've got him like not running unless I moved it up.
Right.
Okay,
Well,
I
no,
did
you don't
move it
have him
up.
stealing, you just have him being aggressive
Right.
on the base
I
pass.
actually used to have him down in like the orange,
Okay.
like not running at all.
That makes sense to me. Only because I know my team here. But you can see a ton of steals, right? But I know, like for example, this guy's a good example where it's funny. I don't necessarily look at speed. I guess I never really thought about it in the context that you were stating there. But and we're looking at Jorge Plantier for anyone that's not watching. But I guess I generally looked at speed as just a generalization. Even like maybe considering it a portion of their defense, like especially if they're an outfielder. I don't know how much that comes into play, but I definitely did do take stealing and base running at their own accord. And I almost take a guy like going back into my fandom, right? A guy like Chase Utley, where he's not a fast
Mhm.
guy, but he was so good at stealing bases, that like,
Right.
and you get guys like that they're base stealing acumen, I guess, doesn't necessarily have to rely on speed, just knowledge and proper timing.
Right.
And kind of same thing with base running. You see guys that are great base runners. You see guys that are fucking dumb as shit running the bases, um,
Exactly.
even if they are fast. Um, so yeah, but I think that's a good point that these are three separate entities essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now, if you have 80 speed or over 80 speed, like
it's going to
you're
help.
just, yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, you're still going to steal a lot of bases,
right.
you know.
I have a guy. Let me see who that would be. Oh, hold on. Let me get that off the screen while you're there. Um, I have a lot of speed. Trying to find
Yeah,
a
you
guy
do.
that has um I'm missing. Oh, okay, I see it. Probably reset because playoffs here. But I mean, this is a good example now, right? So Tatis, um, I trimmed his stealing down a little bit. I had it maxed. You know, I probably had it up here, and then I
Right.
trimmed it down because I didn't really want him. Um,
Getting hurt.
yeah, pretty much.
Right.
And
Yeah.
so yeah, I trimmed it down a little bit, but I do like when when he takes off, but you can see just on his stats that he's just not either healthy enough or available enough to do it, So
But when he does it, he's successful.
yeah, exactly. Solid. But um anyway, so back to playoffs real quick. We dig into that, we'll go down a rabbit hole forever.
Right.
uh, but I think that if I was a betting man, I think Cincy takes it. We have Cincy versus Arizona. Of course, we can always dig into another podcast if we want. And we have Colorado versus you, and trying to take yourself out of it. What do you think the next series is? And do you agree? You think Cincy, if you're a betting man, you take Cincy over LA?
Probably. I don't know. You were 4-2 versus him, but it is in Cincinnati. So I gotta give the edge to him. It's in
Yeah, I think
Cincinnati.
that's smart. Um, so Cincy versus Arizona, we both agreed on the Rockies versus you. Who do you like in the Cincy Arizona, or do you want to leave that for another preview?
I mean, we can do another preview, but I
Okay.
would probably take Arizona. They're at home.
Yeah, I think so too. And then you and Colorado, you're at home.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm never taking Colorado versus me.
Fair enough. All right, and then we'll dig into
That
the.
would be better for you to answer. You know.
Yeah, no, I like you there too. Yeah, I think I'd walk away with the same results. All right, let's do the LA, the AL kind of. Yeah, LA. I went dyslexic
Yeah, this will
visually.
be interesting because I don't know these teams.
Yeah, I don't either. Not as well, at least. And so we want to go what the playoff coverage, and we're going to go to Twins, Baltimore. Pretty even, right? Three and
Yep,
four. Um, let's take a look here real quick. So versus
they're
Baltimore.
similar in runs scored and runs against too.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, nothing crazy elite. Um, pretty much in the middle there. Uh, pitching wise, yeah, nothing really like sticks out as far as um
Well,
maybe.
Minnesota looks to have the better pitching. I mean, at least with the three that are scheduled to start.
Right. We can dig into them. Yeah, that's true. Um, trying to see if anyone here really rakes. Looks like Kellenic has had a great season against them. South Stewart. So good little pop there from both teams though. Because I mean, Baltimore looks like they're spread out a little more with their home runs and bats. Um,
It's funny you're looking at home runs and I'm looking at batting average.
yeah, I scrolled down that first, but I was trying to see
Like I
like
didn't,
maybe who had more
I
explosive.
didn't even look
You
at the home runs.
let's dig in here. So Baltimore as a whole, we want to go to team info.
Yeah.
So kind of bottom tier batting average, right? Lower tier. Pretty middling offense, frankly. Um, walks a lot,
Wow.
good amount of home runs, right? Second.
Yeah. I mean, it looks to me like their bats are better than their pitching.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. So BABIP heavy, if anything. I guess what I take from this is that like they've had some good luck on their side and they've been okay defensively to
Right.
some degree. Although then you look at the zone rating, they're bottom tier.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's interesting. Not to be rude, but it's kind of underwhelming looking at it like this.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna say it. Let's see. They had a
Switch.
really big August.
Oh, okay, yeah. Sorry,
Wow,
sorry.
they crushed August
Wow, yeah, yeah. It really that was kind of their season right there.
right there. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
that's a big August.
I think that's probably the difference, right? So, um, take a look at Boston, and they, because they were kind of close in that little stretch there.
Yeah. I
That
mean, that's a
that's a
huge difference.
huge difference, and I think in the
He won
standings,
over 10 games more than him in that
yeah,
month.
and in the standings, the regular standings, yeah, that's the difference.
Absolutely, it is.
Yeah, wow, that's pretty crazy. So okay, so if we dig into their opponent, we have the Twins, and what do we got? Kind of the same thing. Great base running.
I don't know. His look a little better to me.
Looks a little better, yeah. Team pitching and defense, yeah, definitely. Yeah, I didn't get there totally yet. Uh, yeah, a little better.
And he had a big September
Yeah, wow.
because he was under 500 in August. So he had a big July, then underperformed in August and then September. So those July and August or September got him there.
Yeah. Um, and who did they beat out? Let's see that real quick. So they, yeah, okay.
Red
So
Sox. I mean, it's
the
still the
Reds,
Red
oh
Sox.
man, the Red Sox
I
and
mean,
your
they only
boy here.
lost by 2 games. Yeah,
Yeah,
Jason. He didn't win. He was tied going into the sim. He was all excited this morning, just all amped up, ready to go.
and he
And I
just,
don't think he won a game. Yeah, I think
oh
he
man.
lost all
Oh,
of them.
oh well, look who we played against, right? In
Yeah,
two extra inning games. Oh, dude. Sorry, Jason. Ooh,
and
and the Red
Boston.
Sox whooped his ass. Wow. Oh my God.
Yeah, yeah, he
So
went 0-7.
you didn't have a fun day at work then. Or
I,
you did. You did. You did.
yeah, I went and got a beer with him after work because it's his birthday today.
Okay. All right. Well, happy
There you
birthday,
go.
Jason. Sorry for the not that I have any control over the buttons, but uh sorry for the record there. That's a shitty birthday
Yeah,
day.
yeah,
Yeah. Oh man. Um, all right. So dig into the Twins here.
yeah,
All right.
absolutely.
I'm
Let's see. So he's
guessing
going with
he,
a 3-man, huh?
yeah,
Oh,
I'm
it is.
guessing,
It's a
yeah,
only a 3 game
yeah.
matchup.
I'm guessing he exported there. I don't remember. Wow, this guy, Mike Pedroza, monster. Whew, locked in. Uh there's
So I have
nothing.
done this, what he's doing before, gone down to a 3-man,
Yeah.
but then had the 2 pitchers that I was planning on using pitching
Okay.
in the game, the final game where I didn't have a pitcher ready for the first game,
Oh wow.
basically,
Okay.
of the next round.
Yeah.
But now I usually leave the fourth one there just
Okay.
to leave him so he doesn't get or he doesn't pitch. So
Right,
I
right,
make
right.
sure I have the guy ready.
Well, I wonder, like, so there has to be a setting that you can that you can make
Well,
it
you could
where,
bench him, right? But if you're
right.
going to bench him, you might as well just leave him in the lineup. So when if you're going to move him over, um, you want him to, be a
I
relief
see what you're
pitcher.
saying. You don't want him to go into
So
relief.
right, but
Right.
like
Okay.
I set him now at like benching him at 99%, hoping that they just don't go in that final game.
I gotcha.
If
Right.
they go in the final game, you're kind of SOL.
I see what you're saying. And that makes sense, right? So if you want to play it really safe, set this as a 4-man rotation, put the
Hmm.
guy there, make it
Hmm.
strict.
Right,
Honestly, if I found a thing over the course of time that has boned me really bad is in the playoffs, I will change this to strict order. Um,
yeah,
because I leave it on strict on occasion highest rest. I also make sure that there's no SPs in relief. Although in the playoffs, when you get into the final stretches, like if it's a game 7 and whatever game 6,
right.
I might put in only in crucial situations. Um,
I just move everybody over. So like that game 7 versus
yeah,
or game 6 and 7 versus
right.
Tim
You can
last year,
do
I
that.
believe
Yeah,
I just threw everybody into the bullpen as specialists,
makes
except
sense.
for the 2 pitchers that were going to go.
But I
Or
would
no,
definitely,
5 games, whatever.
yeah, I got you. But I definitely think this is key. I think leaving it at strict order in the playoffs, make sure that it goes right down the list that you have set. because I've seen it change, mostly in a historic league, probably because I make the playoffs more there, but I've watched it, skip over, someone to go back to Mariano Rivera, who I was saving for, game
Hmm.
6 or whatever. So,
Well,
yeah,
it happened to me last year.
in this league,
And
right?
yeah, in this league, and you were like,
Yeah.
got to go strict, and I was like, damn it, you're
Yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You got to go strict. So Caden, if you're listening, I don't want to mess with your team, but time
Right.
to set it. But yeah, all right. So his ace is a beast, left-hander. Uh, I don't know, no splits on this guy. Mike Pedroza is a monster. Wow.
Oh, this guy's good. Yeah.
Yeah, straight up beast. We don't need to spend much time on him because we're going to say the same thing. Uh, oh, and I just switched him by accident.
I was just gonna say, I think you
The
switched it.
good thing is I don't run Sims on this computer, so I can do whatever the heck we want because I'm going to totally
Right.
import it again. Uh, his number 2, first round pick in 29. He developed pretty quick. Well, he's 26, so he got drafted as a college pitcher. But Tony Salazar had a pretty good season there. Yeah, 3.21
Yeah.
ERA, 27 games started, 10 wins. That's interesting. I know wins aren't the best, you know, number to go by, but
I like him.
yeah, I like him too. Um, 3+ pitches, great stuff, movement and control for a starter. See if he has any splits here. Nope, even. Yeah,
A little better
yeah,
versus righties.
yeah. Not enough though to make a fuss, right? Um,
Right.
Alex Areola, we'll go with.
Right.
Perfect. That makes everyone happy. Um,
Exactly.
uh 52 rated. He's solid. I don't know who else he has. We can dig into it, but 30 starts, just almost one WAR, uh 9 wins, 11 losses. It's funny because his ratings, let's see if he has any splits here. Yeah, I guess he's pretty average when it comes down to it. So who did he have pitching? Um
Just go to his. Let's see. It should say the inning. Just look at the innings over here, and you can see.
where are you looking?
So over down on the bottom.
Ah,
If you look at
right.
the
Yeah, yeah,
innings
yeah.
pitched, right,
So
you
yeah,
should be able to
gotcha.
tell which ones were.
Yeah,
No,
good
I'm
call.
just meant by like the total. You should just be able to tell by looking at the total innings which
Right.
ones were
So like
starters.
Bill Abadia,
Hmm.
151 innings.
Exactly.
Um, it's interesting though because he still ended up with some saves. So it's it's curious to see how many
I bet you
starts
he
he.
started.
Yeah, 27 starts. Yep,
Oh,
5.16 ERA. I mean, he's basically got you know 2 pitches when you break it down. Right.
right.
Extreme ground baller. I mean, definitely better in the pen, but I mean, he's got 3 solid, which is good. And bullpen looks pretty decent. Uh, anyone in here you want to peep out?
No, I think no. I think I'm good.
Yeah. Lineups. I just want to kind of look at it from a standpoint. This view pretty good for you.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So we got Sal Stewart at third base. Looks like he's one of his better. Not much range, but solid otherwise at third. Decent bat. And Kalanick still ripping it up, huh? Whew. Man, great season again. All right.
Wow.
Yeah, sorry if I'm going too fast there. Just slow me down if you need to.
No, you're fine. I can. I
Looks
do
like
like his lineups though. I like he's got a bunch of switch hitters too. So he's only
yeah,
got 3 lefties versus lefties. He's only got one, two, three, 4 righties versus the righties. So you can't really come in with a game plan of just pitching righties or
that's
lefties
true.
versus him.
That's true. Yeah,
And you got to have a mixture of both in the bullpens versus those lineups. You can't just have all righties.
yeah,
You
right.
have to have like 2 or 3 lefties in your bullpen to be successful against this team.
Makes sense. A great bat here, especially at first. It's perfect.
Yeah.
Nate Lombardi. Yeah, I mean it's a pretty solid squad. Um, let's take a look at his competitor. It's
It's
Baltimore.
Baltimore. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, couple things pop out there. He's got looks like his number 3 hitter. For the most bad number 3 hitter, Roman Alsis. Got him from Colorado. All right. 24, a bunch of 9 years ago. Uh,
I
Great
bet you
season.
this team, I bet you this team has big splits versus righties and lefties.
All right,
Like if
we'll
you
check
go to
that
their
out.
info,
Yeah. As a whole for the team, you mean?
I bet you
Yeah.
lefties beat this lineup up. I could be wrong, but that's by looking at those, I'm thinking lefties are good versus this team.
Yeah.
Um,
So versus left hand starting pitching.
oh, they're even. That surprised me.
Yeah. I mean, but
Okay.
definitely, obviously a lot more against
No,
righties. But yeah,
they're pretty
yeah,
even.
yeah. Um, but yeah,
Because I would
Sauce.
look at this lineup and think, all right, I want to throw three lefties versus this team.
Okay, I can feel
One
that.
of his big bats, like that guy you were just looking at was a lefty, right? You look at their big bats, and if they're
Yeah,
both lefty, you want to kind of neutralize them.
yeah, yeah. Definitely a little bit better against righties, but still solid. I mean, can't complain with that. Being how many lefties you're going to see. Uh, I'll
Those
take
were
that
big splits.
for him specifically for
Yeah, for him. Yeah,
losses.
I thought that was a pretty big split.
As far as the ratings go,
Yeah. Look at
all right,
that. Look at the
that's
contact versus
yeah. I mean, okay, yeah. I
that's
guess
huge.
comparable. Right. Yeah. Compare. I guess I was looking at it at in its own, right where
All
I
right, so
look
go
at
to
it.
batting stats.
That's what I figured. Let's go to take a look at the splits, right?
Yeah. And then you go to 20 20 33 splits. It's the second tab.
Uh,
You
yeah, hold on.
just
Let
go
me
to the
back.
second tab
Oh, I see what you're saying. Where are
where it
we?
says batting
Batting
splits.
splits. Yeah. Sorry.
There you go. God, he actually did fairly well versus lefties. This got to be a.
Well, that's kind of where I was going. Like he's elite against righties, right? But I don't think he's bad against lefties. So as I'm
But in
looking at,
comparison versus that righty average should be way higher than lefties, and his lefty average is pretty good.
yeah, but I mean, look at the on base percentage, almost 100 points higher.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and OPS is much better. Sorry, um, but yeah, very very solid player.
So that
Um,
yeah, that's something I kind of look at. Like going in versus Andy. I'm gonna want to pitch. What Soto a lefty? I'm probably gonna want to pitch lefties versus Andy. You
okay,
know,
that makes sense. Yeah.
or is he a righty? I can't remember. Soto's a lefty, right?
So is lefty. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think it matters versus him though, but yeah,
It might not, but
it might. We can
if you
take a
can
look.
get a slight edge versus their best players,
Fair enough.
it
Yeah,
can be the difference between one game and in a 7 game series. If you each win three, you can win that
yeah,
that fourth game.
yeah. It's true. Um, so Baltimore's third baseman, young guys, second full season for WAR this year. Good power hitter, good defensive player.
I
Uh,
like this guy.
you like this guy?
Yeah,
Yeah, durability, solid. Yeah, it's perfect setup. Let's see.
strikes
He's
out a lot, but he's got
yeah,
really good defense and he hits for power.
yeah. You'll take that, right? It's
Absolutely.
Matt Chapman.
Yeah,
um, but and perfectly even splits as far as not even statistically, just ratings wise.
right.
We can
Yeah,
take
no
a look at those
splits.
splits. Yeah, pretty even. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But he had. I mean, if we're just looking strictly at WAR, he was second there to um, left fielder Roman Ossis. And then center fielder, I'm going to assume Siani, I always find like pretty good bat, actually. I always know that he's going to be like a rangy guy. But this
hmm
bat, for what I've seen him in any league, is pretty solid. Making 24 mil, pretty impressive.
You're paying that for that defense.
You're playing
So
that for the defense. Yeah,
I
let's
mean,
see
look at
that.
his fielding.
Yeah.
What is his zone? 8.8.
Yep, 8.8 in zone rating, 70 range, 75 error, 60 arm. Yeah, he's a beast. Um, I'm gonna assume he's pretty even too. I would assume he hit righties much better. Um, I have him in one league that he's a little bit older, and he's got awful of a bat. But I mean, definitely he can. I even pull him against lefties, but just leave him in as a
hmm
defensive replacement. But so this is nice. He's at least pretty even there. Um, but definitely a defensive guy. So, all right. And I don't think we took a look at their pitching. Anything else lineup wise here you want to see? They don't run too much. Um, and I let me see what
They're
Minnesota does.
running the same lineup both ways.
Yeah, right. Yeah, yeah. Minnesota's got some speed. They got three guys, in double digits there. Mm, interesting. Okay. Um, and going back to Baltimore, take a look at their pitching. All right, so it looks like he's probably set as well. So
Yep, he said.
high ERAs as we kind of saw in the team, but I like this guy, Jimmy Stanley, 27-year-old ground baller. I know you don't like that control.
I don't
Um,
care about the control. I could care less about that. I care about the stuff and the movement.
okay,
I can deal with anything with control. Like I
okay,
can
all right,
figure it out with the
yeah,
sliders eventually.
4.95 ERA, 178 innings pitched. I don't like this WAR or his WHIP. I'm sorry, his WHIPs is rough, but
And it's because of the walks, but
yeah, I'd like to see that down a little bit. I'll take that 139, but
right.
um, okay, but ground baller, let's see his splits there. Pretty even, exactly even. Okay,
Yep.
and then Mika Bell is two. All right, that's pretty rough.
Yeah, I'm not sure I could start this guy.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I wonder if it's just out of necessity. Um, but yeah, he's rough there.
Let's look
Looks
at
like
uh,
yeah. So this would probably be his number two, but he pitched 2 days ago. Um, so Jalen Hogue had a pretty solid season. Yeah.
yeah. I don't know. I mean, I guess I'm I'm kind of I'm always in the top in pitching. So when I
Yeah,
see a
you're a
four
snob. I get
ERA,
it. You're a
like
pitching snob.
yeah, like yeah,
It
you're
looks
right.
like Hogue's going third there. No, I mean that's a compliment. Yeah, it looks like Hogue's pitching game three there, which is smart. I mean, I'm probably out of necessity anyway, but yeah, but going by innings pitched down here. Hey, my dad, if he had a E instead of O.
That's right.
um, oh wow, I love this guy. I know you don't like that movement, but see, he's the
He's got
sucker. We
potential to grow though.
yeah
But
we
he's got two elite pitches and above average splitter, or I
yeah
mean a slider. Like those are good pitches right there.
yeah, we when we talked about this before, like this is where I get like, like googly eyed, where I look at this, and go, oh, then I see, oh man, okay, the movement could be a little bit better, controls. Fortunately, he doesn't drop to like a 35 there, but
Right.
yet at least. Um, and he's a lefty, but yeah, pretty solid reliever. He pitched a ton of innings for a reliever, though. I mean, he's almost
Did he?
look at his two setup men at inning
Yeah,
wise.
but one of them had to. That there's no way that 200 didn't start.
All right,
There's no
so
way you got 200 innings in there.
okay, all right, yeah. So Anderson did start 25 games. Okay. All right, that makes sense. And then um his other guy, Reno here, Pat Freno, currently, wow, number two pick overall in 25. Um, so he
And he's
started
been a
33
starter.
games. Yeah.
Yeah, all of them. He just
Okay.
moved into the pen
All
for
right,
this
that makes
series.
sense. Yeah. Wonder how much his rating changes if we yeah, okay. Not too much, but interesting. Um, oops, sorry. Don't want to mess you up there. But like I said, I'm not running off this computer anyway, so everything will be important.
Right.
Um, all right. I have anything between these two teams that you want to dig into more? I know I'm kind of, you know, going through it relatively quick.
No, I think I know. I mean, I'm taking Minnesota on this one.
Taking Minnesota. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. I probably go the same way, especially just specifically based off pitching, right?
Yep.
Yeah. All right. And let's go to the final matchup here. Seattle and Detroit. So Detroit took the series 5-2, had a better overall record. Wow, man.
Detroit's
Detroit
so good.
first in runs scored and fourth in against. um,
Yeah.
and Seattle's defense, though, no slouch. Third pitching defense, third in AL, so a little bit better in Detroit. And let's see.
Good luck.
Yeah. Rich, when we were talking about like looking here at the players, one of the reasons why I don't
Hmm.
necessarily like, get hung up on average there is because it's such a small sample size. I always feel like like when I will view it, but I generally will take a look. Like I did this like for DFS stuff where I'll take a look immediately like at the home runs, just to see who has like a pop, who has like an attack against that particular guy, and then strictly the at bats first to hits. Because I feel like for me again, going back into like the similarity with like looking at pitchers ratings, if I see that
Mhm.
batting average, like I kind of get like googly eyed, like, like schoolgirl feel like where I just need to simply look at the numbers that maybe tell a little bit bigger story for my storytelling necessity. Does that make
Right.
sense?
I'm sure, but I don't agree. I mean,
Fair enough. Right.
I'm looking at that as like 423 and 26 at bats. Obviously, the guy with only 9 at bats, I'll look at that as a small sample size, but
Right.
they played 7 games and they're playing three. I mean, it's going to be a small sample size. So I want guys getting on base in those
Yeah,
3 games.
that's true. Well, looks like they've had pretty even success in that. I mean, maybe I guess when you look at it, the high end guys favor Seattle, but I think consistently here we fall off. The fourth guy drops down in Andrew Vaughn. Compared to here, we're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like, respectably, we're going 7, 8 deep almost.
Right. And so that's a tough lineup to get
Yeah,
out.
that is a tough lineup, man. Um, pitching wise, what do we have here? 5 innings. Wow. Jared Garrick.
I don't know.
Yeah. He's been a monster against them. 9 hits allowed, 15 Ks in 15 innings, 172 ERA.
Nice.
Yeah. And not so great. I mean, well, and before I go there, Tim Hostetter, also very solid. Not so great for Solarky. And then on the Seattle side, not as hot for some of the guys. I mean, okay for McRae, and not so great for De La Fuente and Averado there, Avarello.
Yeah, he's
Um,
pitched a lot more pitchers versus him too. So they're
yeah,
kind of their innings are spread out more.
yeah, it's interesting. Um, dig into Detroit for a quick second.
Yeah.
Let's see. And we did this, I think, early. Wow, I mean, just batting is just crushing it for the most part. Strikeouts, okay, base running. Surprised here. I thought some of this would be a little bit higher. Only baseball we look at, I guess.
Oh, you mean for the pitching stuff?
Yeah, still solid, right? But
I mean, yeah, he's still top six, in ERA,
yeah,
top five in starters ERA. It's pretty
doesn't walk
good.
doesn't walk anyone. Yeah, let's take a look. Raw end.
Defense isn't very good. I mean, he's
Yeah,
only got like, is that a 1.3 positive for the
yep,
whole year?
yeah, for the zone rating. Yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah, seventh. Yeah. Let's take a look
so
real
his
quick.
defense isn't very good. Because like,
Yeah.
look at mine. Like, it's going to be like 40 or 50.
Uh, wow. Yeah. Holy
I
shit.
mean, so the difference, that's a huge difference. You might look at that as saying his is in seventh, but
Yeah.
he's only at like a 1.5 for the year. So his defense, it's all in his offense. He just outscores everybody.
I wonder how much that's compared to. It looks like the AL in general is a little bit suppressed, oddly enough, because I mean, you got a great team like
Oh, it's the
Nashville.
it's the junior league, of course.
I can't edit that out. Um,
I don't want it edited out.
fair enough. Okay, wow. In Seattle, their opponent here, -7.9. So
Right.
interesting. Okay. Um, but it's funny though, like not bad in ERA. I mean, not really, like pretty solid in ERA, solid in all these minus the bullpen. And even that, I'll take a 3.88 ERA for my bullpen. Um, BABIP, okay. Pretty solid offense, but not Detroit.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, Detroit's like between them and Colorado. Those two teams in Colorado would just be an absolute
And that was a World Series matchup.
explosion. Oh man.
I don't know if you remember that. Andy was up 3-0 and lost.
Oh,
Sorry,
that's
Andy.
the one. That's
Yeah.
the one that he keeps talking about. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, Tim came back and won it. I think that was Tim's first
Reverse
one.
reverse split, huh? Or a
Hmm.
reverse sweep.
Yeah, reverse sweep. Yeah. Um, let's take a look here real quick for Seattle. So I'm gonna guess they still have to export, but they have five guys lined up. It looks like no matter what, based off of tiredness, we have Brito and Delafonte lined up. So let's say this is going to be our wow. Okay, you got to be happy with him. Game one, 24-year-old Kevin Delafonte, sixth round pick in 2028. Um,
Wow, that is a pretty profile.
that's a beautiful profile.
Look at
Yeah,
that. Hold runners. Is he a lefty too? No, he's a
he is a
righty and he
righty.
holds.
Yeah,
Holy crap.
he's a
I want
righty.
that guy.
Extreme ground ball 9800. Yeah, there's nothing. The only blemish on this guy's profile is his injury proneness. Um,
Yeah.
and even that isn't as bad as I would expect it to be with being fragile. He must have come out fragile. But I mean, so he missed 2 months here, he missed a month the next season, and this season he didn't miss anything. Even last season in 32, he missed a week and a day, and that was only off sore elbow. So this is kind of a shame this guy has the fragile tag here.
Right.
Um,
This is a beautiful picture.
yeah, but 2 full seasons, led the league in both home runs per nine and WAR. He's going to be game one starter. That's a great matchup here.
But look at this ERA he has. It's 3.34. If he had a defense behind him,
Yeah,
that's a 2.5, 2.6. Like
yeah, yeah,
he's way below three. Because if
yeah.
he's pitching lower threes with that defense,
That's true. Kind of high.
you know,
Kind. I mean, Babbitt too is could be lower. Um, Interesting. Well, Seattle, well, I guess I should say specifically Kevin Delafonte versus Detroit offense should be fun. That should be a fun game.
yeah,
But I'll tell you,
he
I'll
should
take
be able
that
to
pitching.
hold his own.
Yeah,
Yeah, I will too.
yeah. And then looks like game two should be Brito if we're just using the few here. And yeah, he's borderline starter, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. Um, yeah, 18 starts, 4.32 ERA. Yeah, he's borderline. So I think Detroit whoops up this guy.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, ground ball helps, but it's a shame too. First round pick, 10th overall, just didn't develop.
Yeah, I've had a few of those.
Yeah,
Not maybe 10th, but I've had a few first rounders that I've just thrown away.
yeah. Hmm. Okay. And then if we go down the list, let's say by that point, maybe one of these top two pitchers for him ends up being ready.
Who's his number five?
His number
Is
five
maybe
is Graham, extreme ground
okay.
baller, no control. Um,
This is a good bullpen guy right here.
yeah, it's a great bullpen guy.
I
Yeah.
would like this guy in my bullpen.
Yep. Yeah, I agree.
I bet he jumps. He's
And the
got those
bullpen, yeah,
two
100%
elite. Yeah,
agree. Yeah, yeah. Reliever. Oh
damn
wow,
it.
that's
I'm so
crazy.
confused on why these aren't
That's
jumping.
funny. Yeah, I don't
Because
know.
that happened last time we looked at a guy where we were
Yeah,
a
but
hundred
I would
percent
agree with
sure.
you. Like that other profile, I could understand why. With we were talking about low stuff, no elite pitches. Here we have three elite pitches, basically two plus elite pitches, and great stuff. I figured
Yeah,
that
yeah.
stuff would jump up. That's interesting. Yeah. Maybe I don't know why. Huh.
I can't. I have no idea.
But I assume that it's either going to be Diaz or Aravello as the third game starter. And Diaz, 33 starts this year, 1.6 WAR, great for. I mean, led the league in balls per nine, walks per nine. Um, not great strikeout guy, um, but solid. You know,
Yeah,
you like this type of guy, right? We have
I could sport this guy for sure.
yeah,
I would
because
like to have a second plus pitch, but
yeah,
I could start this guy.
yep. All right,
They
so
I guess they revamped the pitching in the next one. They added pitcher's Babbitt.
okay,
So
okay,
like for like pitchers that aren't overpowering and finesse pitchers, that it's more to create weak contact. So your guys that don't have the big stuff, but they got the big control and movement, they should play a lot better.
Okay.
in the
Interesting.
next in 24.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Interesting. Um, and Aravella here, he looks like, I think, I don't know, between these two guys, it's kind of probably a coin flip, but um, you probably save him from next series, right? You know what though? Actually, all right.
Yeah, against
Ground baller.
I don't know. I just don't see how Seattle can win more than one game.
Yeah, yeah. Taking a look at the lineup really quick here. Um, who sticks out here? All right, so third baseman Jose Villarreal got him from Nashville,
This
and
guy's good.
yeah, this guy is good. Good, solid third baseman. Good defensive third baseman. Obviously,
Exactly.
got pop. 38 home runs. I mean, wow. You go back to his first full season 38, 47, 37, 38 home runs. Yeah, he's real good. Okay.
OPS plus 131. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
good.
Um, and who else sticks out here? Victor Duran, shortstop. Wow. Okay. I thought he was going to be primarily glove, but pretty solid bat.
I'm curious what this guy's defensive stats are.
Oh, no arm, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I'm just curious
Yeah.
how much he
Wow.
gets
Yeah, he's
kind of,
below. Yeah. That's probably
and he's
what's
got and he's got huge range too, right?
yeah, he does. Yeah, he's a second baseman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy. That arm is so important at shortstop. It just
Yeah,
showed
it
he was
is.
negative 16 with a solid
Wait a second.
infield range, you know?
Yeah. All right. So here we go. Okay. So we have a left fielder by profile playing second base. Mamora Chicken Katajima.
A lot
um
better than I could do.
and yeah, I mean, I like this guy for like a utility guy. But I
Or
mean, wow, look
versus
at the
lefties,
bats.
right?
That's great.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
versus lefties, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
he's your utility guy. You can probably
Yeah.
sneak him in um, versus lefties versus a couple of your lefties to give them the day off so they never miss right-handed pitching days.
Yeah. But I do agree. I mean, that bat's too strong to leave out. Um, so I wonder if so in 33, here we have Mario Rivera. That doesn't try to trip you up at all. Um
Right?
um basically half a season of bats. But I mean, I like this guy at second way more. Um, just based off a little better defense. I think probably a lot better defense. Um, rating wise, good turn double play. He's perfect second baseman, right? 65
He is. He's
range.
an absolute perfect second
Yeah.
baseman
And his
because you
fielding,
don't need an arm at second.
all right, his fielding stats say that. All right. So he's only played 82 games, 6.2 zone rating. Um,
That's good.
yeah. I wonder why how many games this guy play here? 100. Right? He's played a full season and Kitajima, and yeah, he's down at second base. He's hurting him there. Interesting. And real quick, I just want to look at his left fielder since that's where that guy can play. And then this guy's got no range, 35. I mean, he's a young rookie, Marvin Aldana, first full season, 151 games. Um,
He's playing in right field, right?
yeah,
Not left.
no, he's left field. This is
Well,
left
this
field.
this guy's defensive rating is or stats are
Awful.
going to be absolutely terrible because he's not even trained up at left field.
Right. Yeah, he's played both, but he's minus 10, almost minus 11 for the whole season on both. Um, so this is curious, man, because I know Danny's, and here we go in the right field, G. Chiel Lee, um, first one over one in 28. I mean, and it looks like it, and he came
Right.
up. Wow. Okay. So he was drafted as an older player because he came up in 29, played 38 games, but then right off the bat in 30, he's been a 6+ almost 7 WAR player.
Yeah, this guy's really good, and you can
Yeah.
you can play him in either one.
I think you got to play this guy in left. All right. Play this guy in
Yeah, you
left.
can, but
Yeah.
if you
So
have to play him in right, you can.
hold on. Let me just go a little further here because I before I open my mouth. But So Vaughn, solid bat. We know he's definitely decreased over the past couple of years. So great in Arizona, good solid 1 year in Seattle, and then just dropped off the past couple of
Right.
years. Nothing special. But if you play him at first, what do we have at first? I mean, better defensively, but I mean, solid bat, I guess, in Gavin Cash. But to me, I set this guy as either him or Vaughn as my first baseman.
DH. Oh, first base. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I slide Aldana into DH, right?
Yeah.
I don't,
And what are
or
you going to do with
first,
the?
or first, and
He
then
hasn't. He has zero training at it. You couldn't do that in the playoffs.
yeah, not in the
You-
playoffs, right? I take this guy, second baseman currently, Mamora Kitajima. I put him in left, and then I'm fine with keeping um Lee and right, right?
Okay. And
And then so either Cash is on the bench is probably my choice. I probably go that route only because for me personally, I want a little more contact.
uh
And his I and avoid K is enough special for me. And then Vaughn plays first.
I have him actually platooning.
Yeah, all right, so righty lefty versus with those
Hmm.
two. Okay, all
Hmm.
right, I dig that.
Depending on who he has for DH, but if he's got another bat that he needs to move down there, like that left fielder that's terrible at defense, I would probably platoon those two first basemen.
Yeah, right. I dig that. But agree that Vaughn and Cash are kind of odd man out, right?
Yeah,
Because you got to put this guy Rivera at second just for defense.
and that's why it's a perfect platoon
Yeah.
situation.
Right. I got you. Okay. Yeah. Interesting. That's gonna be interesting to see the way it plays. I want to see how many errors and whatnot we have in the box score. Yeah. Garrett
But
Mitchell
one
and
of them's
center.
really good at first.
Yeah, I think Cash is good at first. Yeah,
Yeah.
I meant not necessarily for that, not for that position in general,
Oh,
but
gotcha,
I
gotcha,
mean,
gotcha.
you have a 35 range outfielder here. I mean, I guess
But his
maybe errors
errors,
won't
errors, but there's going to be a lot of runs scored.
a lot of right, right, especially playing Detroit. Yeah,
Right, exactly.
this motherfucker's gonna be running all over the place
Right.
with 35 range. Um, that's interesting. Yeah.
And what's
Okay.
his center fielder's range?
His center fielder is 65, so Garrett Mitchell.
Okay,
Yeah.
so he's on the lower end, but he's good enough to.
Hmm. Yeah.
So he's not covering a bunch of left field for that guy.
Right.
Unless
Yeah.
he's shifting. He could be shifting his outfield too.
That's true.
So
That's true. But that's an interesting setup, man. And I haven't dug into Danny's teams too much, but I know, I know he's a vet of OTP
right.
and maybe he has a couple injuries here as well. No pitcher wise, but okay. And that hurts too. So he had, I know, longtime Arizona Cardinal in Espino. That would be huge for this series here. Um,
Absolutely.
and I
Because
don't
he's
know,
got high
Ball,
movement too, so he could
man, he lost
help.
two top guys here. Yeah, at least rating wise. Yeah. Compared to you take a look at Jonathan Bolton, right? 65 rating. I know that's not everything. He had a rough year at 5.85 ERA, 165 whip. That's tough. It doesn't have much control, but I mean, you compare him to, uh, let's say this guy,
Yeah.
Brito, all right.
I
Uh,
think both of those pitchers that are hurt would
are
be
better.
in his, yeah, they would be in his three starters.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And then real quick, let's take a look at Detroit's lineup since we just looked at the defense for Seattle. Man, he's just got some mashers here. I'm just looking at wow, okay. So John Weiss in center. Wow, that's a unique. You don't see that too often.
Yeah,
Where we
he's
have
all power, no contact, but great D.
yeah,
Good running.
and
Yeah.
super fast with great bunting. Like that's like a
I swear I tried to get this guy from him like
okay.
a long time ago
Yeah.
when he was
Man,
in his low minors.
that's funny. Yeah, I just that's such a unique profile. Um, and he's playing center 7.7 war. I mean, look at his home run totals from 27, 37, 40,
Yeah.
48, 38, 54, 48. Wow. Um, stealing bases successfully. Let's see how his defense is. So yeah, a little light on D. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
let's see.
yeah.
Oh,
Just let me know if I'm gonna stop me if there's something specific
but
you
yeah,
want to
go
see.
back to him for a
Yeah.
second.
Fielding.
Yeah, I mean, he should be positive, but that center field ranking at 60 is probably why he's just below average. I was just trying to figure out why he was below average. Because he's a minus 1.3. Zero would be average, right?
Yeah, right. So it looks like he's
And over the
above.
course of the year, he's just under.
Yeah, yeah. That's interesting. Um, and then real quick here, what else do we have? So lead off is Babcock, and oh wow, he's a monster too. So left fielder, weak on D, but great bat.
Yeah, you have to play this. This guy's really good.
Yeah,
Holy cow.
yeah, he's a monster. So if he has him in left, who's his right fielder here? Okay, Luis Robert. That's
Luis
interesting.
Robertson, I think, hit 5 home runs against me in that World
In,
Series last year.
okay, so you hate this guy. He's
Oh,
hung on pretty good. I mean, for being wrecked, he's played consistently for Detroit at least 123 games. However, he's working him, he's getting the most out of him. You know,
right.
um, and solid defense. So yeah, that's pretty decent. And he's got Bellinger, so he's got Bellinger at first. All right, and Bellinger's a
Bellinger
monster.
still producing?
Yeah,
Yeah, wow.
38. Yeah, yeah.
When's that contract
I
up?
mean, definitely a low.
34?
Yeah, ends in 34. Uh, a player opt as well. He's going to opt in,
Yeah, for sure.
but a lower season for him. I mean, look at his OBP last year in Detroit, 434 in a full season. This year, 360. Still solid, but the home
He
runs
isn't he
plummeted.
is he 38?
Yep, yep. But yeah,
He's
plummeted
still
here.
a 55.
And still a big bat. Yeah, still a big
Yeah,
bat.
exactly. At 38.
Yeah,
Crazy.
that's interesting. And then Forsyth, we have. I'll take a look at his numbers real quick. Another low contact, good power, good speed, good fielder. And where's he have Forsyth
Really
playing?
good fielder.
He has Forsyth playing. Okay, he has him platooning. Okay, I see. Yeah, interesting. So he has a couple different lineups. So he has Gates in against righties, and I've liked him for a while. But guess get a little bit older, and yeah, it makes sense. He's got him going against righties because he really can't hit versus lefties.
Every single guy you've clicked on has had like massive power.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
And then
just crazy.
Forsyth
But
is his lefty guy. Okay. All right. Interesting. All right. Well, anything else in Detroit you want to check out? I mean, or we we didn't even get into the pitching, but Hostetler is pretty beastly here. His ace. Um, he's not going to go. I mean, he might go the last game of the series here, but he pitched 2 days ago. Led the league in wins, led the league in Ks, 2 seasons in a row. Dude's a beast.
well, if there's a day off, he could pitch the last game.
That's true. Yeah, that's what I figured. He pitches the last day. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's the guy
I
you want going in that decision too.
yeah, yeah. Actually he could pitch game two, three. Yeah. Yeah. So we'll see how he lines that up. Um that dumb commissioner probably should have fast forward to the day where the playoffs actually occur. Um and Madrigal is his number two. He pitched yesterday, but pretty solid. I mean, rough season though. 5.03 ERA, 1.46
I
WHIP.
don't. I'm not a fan of this one.
Yeah, you don't like that movement and mixed with the control.
Yeah,
Yeah, fly ball pitcher,
but
lefty.
probably works for him.
Right. Yeah, and he got him from from your boy.
Oh, from Billy.
hmm And Bubba Winthrow, if everything stays right now, he starts and what, third full season, pretty solid year. Okay, yeah, decent
I
middle
like
ground
that
pitcher.
guy.
Yeah, yeah. And then Solarski, I like this guy. I've seen him, and he definitely developed well. 23rd round pick.
Right.
Uh,
Holy
three,
cow.
yeah, 3 seasons in a row with over 30 starts. Led the league in WAR last year. 3.1 this year. Pretty solid. Nothing great, but solid.
Yeah, I would love to see what these pitchers do with a good defense, you know?
Yeah, yeah, right. And then Jared Girk. I like this guy. I mean, I know he's sidearm and he's fragile, but
Yeah, I don't care about the sidearm, but I like
yeah,
this guy. This guy's really good.
yeah. And he had a great season. 31
He's got three
starts.
elite pitches.
Yep.
He's above average on control stuff and movement.
Low whip. Yeah. Yeah, he's solid, man. So all right, well, let's get back here real quick. I think I take Twins. I think I take Detroit. You on the same boat?
Same boat.
All right. We'll
Did
have
we
to
have
dig.
any different?
No.
I
You know
can
that's
see
not
you
going to work
beating
out that
Scott
way.
though. I can see you beating Scott though.
Yeah, I mean, well, hey, I'm rooting for that, you know.
Right.
um, but then it'll be interesting to see. I think Nashville's a beast, and I'd like to dig into them later. But I would like to check out this Detroit A's, uh yeah, when if we get there, or Seattle, yeah, whatever. I don't really care who wins. I'm just excited for it to
Well,
occur.
I'm rooting for Seattle. I want Seattle to beat Detroit, and I want whoever wins the Twins or Baltimore to take out Nashville.
Well, I know, yeah, you're rooting definitely for Baltimore, Seattle, Milwaukee, LA.
Yeah.
Across the board. I
Yep.
got you. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, for the sake of time and our listeners' ears and all that stuff, and my ass and my ears, from headphones and chair, uh, make sure I clarify that. Um,
Right.
I think what we should do is we'll roll through the playoffs, and then maybe before we start the next round, we hop on for a shorter, uh, little dig in, and it doesn't have to be as impromptu. Maybe you and I get a chance to actually dig into those teams and see what happens there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Take a look at them
Yeah,
beforehand.
yeah. But this is good, man. I always love and talking to you, man. It's
Yeah,
supernatural.
you
So,
too.
yeah. Anything before we roll that we want to check out, you want to add? No pressure. Just want to make sure that I'm not dominating and controlling.
No, I think we're good. I mean, if we're going to do this again in another day or so, then
Yeah.
I think we're good.
All right, sounds good, brother. Well, um, as you're sitting there waiting on your throne, um,
You know,
uh,
I'm going to get knocked out right away. That's what's going to happen this year.
I mean,
Jason's sweating bullets. He's because we got that 100, you know. He's like,
okay.
this is the year. This is the year I'm worried. He said.
All right. All right. All right. Well,
So,
I hope that you at least make it to the championship series. Um, I would love to see that matchup. I don't care who it is, you versus Mike, you versus Reds, you versus me. I know you're rooting for you versus me. But I would love to see that.
I'm not. I'm fine with all of you. I like playing all of you.
Fair enough. But I
At
think
least this year.
I assume there's
Yes.
been better success, you versus me than those other two. I think,
Overall, like overall in general, absolutely. I have owned you for years.
yeah. Oh, sorry, I stopped recording a couple minutes ago.
Yep.
Yeah.
But
Well,
the last couple years I've been doing well against those two as well.
yeah.
Where
Yeah.
in previous years, like Mike always crushed me and Scott beat up
Well,
on
you
me.
took off a little bit, and Mike, even though he's still dominating the division, dropped down just a little bit from being, 110 win team.
Right.
Um, so yeah, that makes sense. Uh, cool, man. Well, this is fun. I appreciate your
Yeah.
time.
Had a blast.
Yeah, let's see if we can do it again in a couple days, and yeah, go from there.
All right. Sounds
All right,
good.
brother. Yeah, I'll
Take
catch you
care.
on the interwebs there.
All right.
All right,
Later.
later.